My name is Aymey Austdone. I'm 61 years old. I completed 120 hours with the unlimited 1-month program. I also did 10 hours prior to that, so I have a total of 130 hours. I heard about the EESystem through a video that I watched interviewing Dr. Sandra Rosemichael, who is the founder of the EESystem. And previous to finding the Maahi Wellness, I had experienced scalar distance healing for clearing pathogens and chakra rebalancing in the body, and I found it to be quite effective. I was curious to try the EESystem. I had a family member who was looking for further healing from cancer and detoxification from chemotherapy. And after my first session, I thought this might be a good option for my family member. So my sister-in-law booked herself in for the unlimited hours pilot program and experienced great benefit from these sessions for her cancer healing. So the first issue and most important issue that I came to the clinic was to heal a nerve damage from an injury 20 years ago that I suffered on my left foot from a sciatic nerve pinch. And it left my foot with numbness and pain. The past few years, the pain had been getting progressively worse, and I was starting to worry that it was going to affect my job as a gardener and my ability to walk for any length of time. If I tried to point my toes, my foot would cramp severely, and I would have to pull it back manually to get it back in place. And I was also experiencing symptoms of plantar fasciitis in my other foot as well. My sister-in-law said that there were people in the unlimited hours pilot program that were recovering from plantar fasciitis. So I thought this might be a good opportunity to try to get some healing from the nerve damage and reduce the pain in my foot. The second issue, I had an injury from a car accident about 2 to 3 years ago, and I still had some minor shoulder pain as a result of the accident. The pain had reduced about 80% over the past 3 years, but every time I rotated my shoulder, I could feel it catching, and my shoulder just wasn't rotating 100% without pain. And when I was sleeping, I would wake up with a numb ring finger, and it felt like my blood circulation was cutting off. I had a very good chiropractor at the time who fixed it about 80%. So it was a minor discomfort, and I just felt at my age everyone has some kind of pain and accepted that I might have to just live with it. The third issue I had was my gums were bleeding, and if I bit down on the right side of my tooth, I would feel a slight pain from chewing. The fourth issue I was experiencing when I would wake up in the morning, I would feel quite stiff and achy for about the first hour, and I was not waking up feeling very refreshed from a night of sleep. So the fifth and final issue that I was experiencing, that I always suffered from anxiety, and I now have a sense of calm. If it was really triggered, my anxiety, it would be an 8 out of 10. I was hoping for nerve generation and help with my pain and cramping in my feet. My primary focus was to have more flexibility in my feet, being able to work and walk well into my old age and be pain-free. The biggest change I received was a reduction in the pain and the stiffness in my foot. The pain before the 1-month unlimited program was a 7 out of 10 in both of my feet. And after the 120 hours, my pain was down to a 1 out of 10. I couldn't go skiing before because my foot would cramp up in my ski boot, and I would roll it on a ball and do all the things that my chiropractor had been asking me to do to heal it, and I wasn't getting anywhere. And when it cramped up, it was very painful, and it was hard to unlock my foot. The flexibility was a 2 out of 10, meaning that it was not very flexible. And now it's about a 9 out of 10 and significantly more flexible. I'm thrilled with the results that I've had, knowing that I can walk and work pain-free into my old age, and pain won't hold me back any further. The second change I experienced, I had a painful shoulder causing my ring finger to go numb at night occasionally, and I have more flexibility now in my shoulder. The pain is completely gone, and I have better rotation. This is a very pleasant surprise because it was the last little bit that needed to go in this shoulder, getting the pain, and sometimes that's the hardest part to get rid of, and which is why it's important to make notes when you're in your sessions, because I almost had forgotten that I had pain in that shoulder, and now that it's gone, it's remarkable. The third change I experienced, I had bleeding gums, and the bleeding has gone completely. My teeth feel stronger. The mobility in my jaw has increased. I no longer feel any pain when I bite down and chew my food. And this wasn't one of the issues that I came in with. I wasn't expecting that to clear. So it was a very pleasant surprise, and my teeth feel much stronger overall. The fourth change I experienced is I now feel much more rested when I wake up, and the stiffness is gone. The stiffness was an 8 out of 10, and now it's about a 1 out of 10. And when I do yoga, I've noticed that it's more enjoyable. Before, when I was in a certain position, it was quite painful sometimes, and I wouldn't be able to stay there very long. I find now that when I'm stretching, I can go farther, and I'm able to do a posture longer. It allows the energy to flow more easily in my body. I also do a connective tissue movement class, and I've noticed there's an increase in the strength and the flexibility in my feet and my joints as well. The flexibility before was probably a 6 out of 10, and maybe now it's an 8 out of 10. The fifth and the final change that I experienced was lesser anxiety. I've suffered anxiety, and I feel that I have an increased sense of calm. When it was triggered, my anxiety would be an 8 out of 10, and now I feel I'm just more centered during daily life, less pressure to keep up with the pace of the outside world. It makes me hopeful that my nervous system is healing, which is key to me maintaining my improved health. Another important thing to share with you is that when I was on the 100 hours program in the EESystem, I was also on a cleanse. I was having a relatively clean diet. I included supplements and detoxification herbs. I eliminated caffeine and alcohol. I had a very limited sugar intake. And while I was in the EESystem, I really focused on healing my body through meditation, high frequency music. I did hypnosis recordings, and I listened to healing podcasts. So I believe this really expedited the healing, and it was very complementary to the EESystem. I highly recommend these sessions for others. The health benefits I saw in a 1 month were fantastic. It's amazing to experience that with the right energy environment, that the body can heal itself very quickly. I also valued the time with myself and my thoughts, and the time spent in the EESystem in meditation and hypnosis really helped me release a lot of old thought patterns. And I feel like this was a gift I had to give to myself, and I'm so grateful for the opportunity that was offered to me.